My name is Shane and I'm a landlocked surfer. After a lifetime of dreaming about riding waves right in my own backyard, but believing it couldn't be done, I finally decided to give it a try. So on a windy day 7 years ago, I threw my board on the car and drove down to the lake. I paddled out and I caught a real wave. Waves had been there this whole time, and they were right under my nose. Since then, whenever the wind gets over 35 miles an hour, you've been able to find me at American Fork Marina in Provo Harbor, riding waves that no one even knew were there. But before we get to my most recent session, I have to answer the question everyone's been asking since the day I started. What makes someone crazy enough to surf Utah Lake? And for that, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. Like, the very beginning. My dad learned how to surf when he was 22 in Oregon on a classic 90s toothpick. Absolute core lord. From the day I was born, I was spoon-fed a steady diet of the Endless Summer, the Endless Summer 2, US Opens, and days at Sano, Bolsa Chica, and HB. We moved to Utah when I was 5, but that didn't stop my love for surfing. In fact, I think it grew it even more because of the years spent longing for the ocean. One of my first memories from here was going to see Dana Brown's Step into Liquid. We would still get out to California as much as we could, and since then I've been fortunate enough to surf in some truly incredible places. I've even ended up in some pretty heavy conditions that I don't plan on doing again anytime soon. These days, I keep myself sane by taking in all the incredible things Utah has to offer, like snowboarding, pow surfing, climbing, and kayaking. So to answer the question of why I'm crazy enough to do this, one word: desperation. Now let's move on to what you came here for: surfing in Utah. The break in front of the beach section of the American Fork Marina we call Neverland. We call it that because the first time we ever surfed here, there was a small kids' performance of Peter Pan going on next to the beach when we pulled up. Needless to say, they decided to cut it short once the wind hit 40 miles an hour. This has been my favorite break on the lake since we found it. Provo Harbor gets bigger, and the point at the end of the jetty has more power. But Neverland is where you can properly go down the line, cross-step, and sometimes even get a cheater 5. This is also probably the nicest beach on the lake. They've put in a ton of work to clean it up and get the bugs and bushes out to the point that now it's genuinely a beautiful place to be. And the view of the mountains from the water is without a doubt the best part of surfing in Utah. Once I've had my fun surfing at Neverland, I always head down to the end of the jetty to a spot we simply call When it came around, she called me up. It may be small, but I guarantee you'd forget that real quick if it threw you headfirst into the rocks that are quite literally staring you right in the face. I've picked up a few dings, cuts, and scrapes. I even put a hole in my wetsuit and sacrificed a couple side bite fins to this spot. The water goes from around 5 to 6 feet deep where you start paddling to just a couple inches within 2 seconds of catching the wave. With all this in mind, you may be thinking that surfing this spot sounds kind of dumb, but come on, a mandatory rail grab in a lake? That's pretty cool. I used to feel bitter about growing up so far away from the thing I love to do most, but I finally realized that living in a place where I can go from this to this in the same day is as rad as it gets. It turns out the waves are absolutely everywhere. They could be water, they could be snow, they could be concrete or even dirt. All it takes is a little perspective. Whether I'm pow surfing in the Wasatch or surfing in a lake, I'm stoked. And it's safe to say the Stoke will live on. Thanks for watching Landlocked Surfer. Like and subscribe for more landlocked content.